everybody, and welcome back to season 2 of Non Judgmental, sponsored by Bean Scene. And today I have my friend Soumya with me here, and she is a nutritionist. So, before we deep dive into answer all your questions, Soumya, welcome to Non Judgmental, sponsored by Bean Scene.
Hi, I'm Chris. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm really glad to be here and also excited to answer the questions that you have come up for me.
Definitely. Can you please give a short brief, like your journey from? I mean, I know you were when we were studying MBA, I know you were very passionate towards, fitness.
Yeah,
Can
right.
you please brief us your journey?
Yeah. So first of all, my name is Soumya. I'm based in Hubli for the past 20 to 25 years. And my background is actually, management. We studied MBA together. But I have been passionate about fitness and nutrition since quite a long time. And during my MBA, when we had this pandemic going on, so that's when I started to make this shift in my career, and I took up the Precision Nutrition certification from the US. And after the completion of it, I have been working as a nutrition coach and coaching a number of clients and helping them reach their health and fitness goals.
That's wonderful, Soumya. I
So,
I mean that's such a big shift. I mean, from management to nutrition, it like your passion towards it has always made me go crazy. Like how?
yeah, I know, right? Yeah, it definitely was very challenging because from management to nutrition, it was like a big shift, and it was quite challenging to deal with.
Definitely. Um, can you please give me a difference between a dietitian as nutritionist? Because when I was on call with you, that is
Yeah.
when I actually got to know that there's a difference between a dietitian and a nutritionist.
Well, a dietitian, a registered dietitian is somebody who is into studying this for many years into their life. They undergo this degree and master's degree in all of the nutrition science. They get into the entire depth of human physiology and anatomy and nutrition science and all of that. But us as a nutritionist, we don't get into we don't dive deep that much into that. And also when it comes to the scope of practice, it's limited for nutritionists compared to the registered dietitian. Like for example, as a nutritionist, I'm not allowed to work with somebody who has medical disorders or somebody who is diabetic and all of these things.
Okay,
Yeah,
got it. And I can see that there are 10 questions, and no worries, we can go at our own pace. And
yeah, definitely.
so the first question is asked by Smita. Can you suggest a diet plan that is suitable for a vegetarian or a vegan lifestyle?
Okay. So first of all, a lot of people have this misconception that vegetarians and vegans are the same, but they are two entirely different things. Well, we all know who is a vegetarian, but vegan is an approach where you're not eating any kind of food that is derived from an animal. This may include even the dairy products like milk, paneer, yogurt. So whether you're a vegetarian or vegan, that is the question first. But talking about a specific diet plan, there is no one best diet plan that is suitable for the entire population. But I can surely tell you some of the foods that you can incorporate in your diet being a vegetarian. Firstly, talking about the protein intake, it's very, very essential for the human body, regardless of your age or activity. When it comes to the vegetarians, they have limited options to meet the protein requirement. Like, for example, the amount of protein 100 grams of chicken or fish would give is much more higher than what 100 grams of dal or any lentil would give. So, my suggestion is, try to include as much as protein in your diet. It comes from like paneer, soya chunks, lentils, legumes, tofu, and Greek yogurt. These are some of the very common protein sources for the vegetarian.
Mhm.
And besides these include a wide range of colored fruits and vegetables, which will provide you with all the vitamins and minerals. And then if you are a vegan, then you have even more very limited options. Like you cannot eat dairy or any animal based product. For that, you have to rely on as much as legumes, lentils, and plant based supplements.
Definitely.
Yeah.
The second question was asked by Rajesh: how can I manage my diabetics through my diet?
Okay. When it comes to managing the diabetes, the first and the foremost thing that you should keep in mind is keeping a track of your carbohydrate intake, because when you eat carbs, they get converted into glucose, and that enters your bloodstream and raises your blood sugar level. So when you eat high carb foods, your blood sugar level is automatically going to rise, which is what we don't want it to happen, and which is what most of the people having diabetes struggle with. They always see their blood sugar level rising. So, my suggestion would be that work with your doctor or a medical practitioner and find out the amount of carbohydrates that your body requires. And plan for meals with proper intervals. Do not eat too frequently, which would always make your blood sugar level stay up, or do not give too much of gap between the meals, which would make it go low. Eat with proper intervals, and also make sure that the quality of the foods is also very important here. Do not eat processed foods like bread, pasta, and all of those things, because those are going to raise your sugar level quickly. So include a wide range of complex carbs like oats, whole grains, and sweet potatoes, and good amount of protein and non-starchy veggies like broccoli, cucumber, cabbage. Yeah.
This
So
was
this altogether this should help manage your diabetes. Just what it.
Thank you. This definitely I'm gonna suggest my mom because she's a diabetic patient and her sugar levels are always reaching the
Yeah.
at least in the mango season.
Yeah, I know, right?
It definitely has to. So I will definitely ask my mom to follow this as well.
Sure, sure, sure.
The next question is by Shruti. What are some healthy snack options that I can include in my daily routine? Oh God, this is even my question.
Healthy snack options. Well, I would say fruit, egg or egg whites, and yogurt, and then there's dark chocolate, and then cheese, popcorn, and roasted chickpeas. These are some of the commonly used, healthy snack options that I recommend to all of my clients in their diet plan. They're all like good sources of protein, and as well as low to moderate in calories. So it's a good thing to you can include this in your diet.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
The next question is by Ankit. Is it necessary to consume supplements along with a balanced diet?
Well, it is not necessary to consume them. It is a matter of requirement and personal preference, if you ask me. Because see, the most common kinds of supplements that we come across are whey protein, multivitamin, omega 3. See, the word supplement itself means you're adding it to something, because that is not enough. Okay, right. So likewise, if you're taking these, that is because you're not able to get them or meet those requirements with your diet. Like for example, whey protein gives roughly 25 to 30 grams of protein per scoop, and taking a scoop or a two a day is not harmful. So that way you're leveling up your protein intake. Okay, and then when it comes to multivitamin, it's hard to measure and eat the foods that will give you so and so much of minerals or vitamins. So people end up taking a multivitamin to generally meet those requirements. So whatever it is, see if you need it. If you need it, if there is a requirement, then yes, go ahead. It is absolutely safe, but don't just take it for the for the sake that a lot of people into fitness take it and it seems fancy or something. But then I would suggest please do not take any sort of supplements like fat burners or such. They play with your system internally.
Thanks, thanks. I will make my mom listen to this, even though even if I not, she does listen to all my podcasts, but especially this one particular line because she always gets scammed by these fat burners and all.
Right.
What reason? She orders them and they stay at the cupboard like the same way, the packed
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah. Right. Right.
The next
I
one.
know there's
Yeah, sorry, you were telling something.
no, there's a lot of hype going on about the fat burners and all of these things, but it's just a misconception that social media is creating, is all I would like to say.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
The next question is by my sister Nisha. She's asked, how can I ensure that my child is getting all the necessary nutrients for their growth and development?
Okay. So, see, child nutrition can be a little challenging because, as we all know, that children are very choosy about what they eat. But if you ask me, both adults and children need the same kind of nutrients. Like, we eat protein, carbs, fats, vitamins, minerals, and all of those things, right? So, just the quantities in which the adult eats, it obviously differs from what the children eat. So when it comes to the children, just make sure you include a wide range of protein, like and more of fruits, vegetables, whole foods. But the most important catch here is that you are supposed to make them interesting because this is the age when they start differentiating between the foods, right? I mean, they obviously know that a pizza would taste better than a carrot any day. So it is up to you to come up with interesting ways to make sure your child eats it. Don't let them label the food as good or bad, and don't let them develop such views about the food. Teach them what they need to eat more of and what they need to eat less of. Plan tasty meals and learn what they like or dislike. So that way, you're ensuring that they are getting all the nutrients, but also they're enjoying them, and they would like to consume them on the regular basis. And lastly, make sure to cut out the processed foods like sugar, maida, bread, pasta. Like give them some healthy snacks like cheese, eggs, and make sure that all of their meals have good amount of protein and fiber and make them interesting.
Certainly.
Yeah.
The question is by Aman. Can you suggest some foods that can help improve my immunity?
To improve the immunity, firstly, I would suggest Indian spices because Indian spices like turmeric and cinnamon, clove, and these all of these ingredients have like amazing immunity boosting properties in them. Like for example, the turmeric, the yellow color presence in the turmeric, it has amazing anti-inflammatory properties in it. And that is the reason why most of our ancestors had such a strong immune system compared to us, right? And then ginger and garlic, as we know, like it's most commonly used to treat the cold and cough in India.
Yeah.
So you can include them. And then comes the green leafy vegetables, all kinds of them. Mainly the dark green presence in them, it has infection fighting properties. So eating the dark green, the green leafy vegetables, and then comes the dry fruits and nuts like almonds, walnuts, cashews. So these have amazing immunity boosting properties. And then comes the dairy products, like they have probiotics in them which keeps your gut healthy because your gut is made up of millions, trillions of bacteria. So dairy products like low fat yogurt and fermented foods. And then comes the poultry and fish. Poultry and fish, they're a great source of protein and also have great immunity boosting properties.
I don't know, for some reason there is this reel that I was sent by my mom maybe 2 days prior or something, which said that I want to ask this question: what is the best thing that you have as soon as you wake up? Like they say that warm water with maybe some fenugreek seeds and something. I don't know. What do you suggest?
Well, it is just a myth what they say that, waking up and drinking a glass of hot water with lemon, like reduces your tummy fat and all of those things.
Right.
Honestly, it's just a myth. What I would suggest that, yeah, it's definitely good to have a glass of hot water, lemon, all of those things. But the thing here is it's not going to reduce your weight or something like that. I'll touch upon that matter later in this podcast. But it's whatever what you have the first thing in the morning is entirely like it's entirely your personal preference. It differs from person to person. Like for example, some person might wake up in the morning and the first thing they would like to have is caffeine, but that might not suit the other person. So it depends on the person to person is what I would say.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Now the next question we have is by Shreya. what are some healthy food options that can help me in my weight loss journey?
Okay, this is a bit a vague question because I get asked these kind of questions like so many times. What kind of foods for weight loss and what kind of foods for weight gain and for maintenance and all that. But firstly, you should know the fundamental principle of weight loss and weight gain, which is that if you eat less than what calories your body is burning, you will lose weight. If you eat more than what your body burns, then you will gain weight. And the same way, if you're eating the same amount of calories that your body burns, your weight will remain the same. So first, understand this concept and understand how many calories your body needs based on your goal, height, weight, activity level. And based on that, adjust your calories. And if you want a weight loss, create a deficit. If you want weight gain, create a surplus, whatever your goal is. And then include a wide range of whole foods or protein-rich foods and good fats, vitamin, minerals. If you ask me, there are no kind of foods that are specifically made for weight loss or weight gain or such. There are no foods that are good or bad. It's just about the quantities that you eat. Like, for example, we all know that oats is healthy compared to a pizza. So
Yeah.
let's say my calorie intake for the day is 1400 calories. So after eating those 1400 calories, whether I eat a burger or oats, it does not matter. But I am going to gain because I'm eating more than what my body needs. So this is the catch here. And but again, this does not mean that you eat anything you like within your calorie intake and expect results. Including less processed whole foods and all of that thing is important. But just understand this principle, and also you can occasionally enjoy what you like within that set calorie. And lastly, what I would like to say is, this question was asked by Shreya, right? So Shreya, please understand you and work on your portion sizes. If you're not losing weight despite all the healthy eating, then there are high chances that you're not keeping a track of your calories. Don't get obsessed with calories also. That can develop a very negative relationship with the food. But if you want clear and concrete results, I would suggest you start keeping a track of your calories and include a nutrition dense foods and work out and be consistent. I don't see any reason why you cannot lose weight.
Definitely. I'll also inculcate these habits. That's amazing.
Sure.
So the next question is by Rahul. Is it safe to consume organic foods and are they better than conventional ones?
Okay, so this is quite a long-standing debate about the organic and conventional food, like universally. There's a lot of research going on worldwide, and researchers are debating whether organic is good or whether conventional is bad. But if you ask me, I would say the same thing what most of the research suggests. Like we all know that organic foods are grown in a safe environment with less or no use of pesticides and fertilizers, right?
Yes.
But what research suggests is whether a food is organically grown or conventionally grown, there is no much difference in their components. Like for example, the amount of protein, vitamins, minerals that an organic product offer is almost very similar to conventionally grown products. So in this case, if you really want to make that switch in your diet of going organic, then I would say start by eating local and seasonal fresh produce. Like India is rich in agriculture, and we all know farmers who grow certain food grains and all. So start buying it from them, like because from the time a produce is grown and they actually reach a retail store, there is a lot of processing that takes place in between.
Yes.
So if you want to make that switch, then start by eating local produce. Start buying from farmers and anybody that like who are producing those grains or whatever you're looking for. But if you're buying it from a store, then check the packaging properly. Check if it is, if it is a USDA certified.
The next question is by Ritu. How can I incorporate more fiber into my diet?
The recommended daily intake of fiber for women is 25 grams a day and 35 grams a day for men. You can meet that by including a wide range of fiber-rich foods like whole foods, like carbs like oats, fruits, and then starchy vegetables, whole grains. All kind of fruits contain fiber, but some have less fiber compared to the others. For example, like apples are a great source of them. And then you can include barley, foods like quinoa, and all kind of millets. They are not just high in fiber, but they have a very low GI, that is the glycemic index. And then you can include chia seeds, nuts, dry fruits, and you can add these options in every meal so that so that you'll meet that requirement for your daily intake. Other than that, if you feel you need more than that, then you may also take a fiber supplement. I mean, if you're not meeting that requirement from your diet, then you may also go for a fiber supplement.
Certainly.
Yeah.
The last question we have is from Manish. Can you suggest a diet plan that can help me in managing my high blood pressure?
Like I said before, there is no specific kind of diet plan for this and that. But my general suggestion would be, Manish, include a variety of whole foods, fruits, vegetables, get regular exercise, and keep a track on your salt intake, because we all know that sodium can contribute to high blood pressure levels. And if you smoke, then quit smoking, have an active lifestyle, and eat foods that are high in potassium, like bananas, spinach, etc. These all will foods high in potassium will help you control your blood pressure. And other than this, overall having a very active lifestyle and include a wide range of nutrient dense foods will definitely help you to manage your high blood pressure.
Definitely. So I guess we've answered. I hope all the audience have been answered their questions. Is there anything that you would like to add, Soumya?
Yeah, like I definitely would like to add something from my end to all the people, because in my experience as a nutritionist for 2.5 years now, I get to hear these kind of questions often, and here are some of the general guidelines that I would like to share. Firstly, there are no specific foods that are good or bad for your body. There are just foods and they differ in their nutritional value. So stop referring to foods as good or bad and stop developing that bad relationship with the food. And secondly, what I would like to say is, whether it is a top elite athlete or a person like me and you who belongs to the general population, we eat almost the same kind of foods, like it just differs more or less in the quantities or the availability of the foods around us, or our activity levels, etc. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to the basic fundamentals of food, that is, eat whole foods, more protein, more fruits and vegetables, good fat, that's it. So you should know that nutrition is very, very simple, and we have developed all these misconceptions because of the social media. Somebody comes up with some kind of tea and promotes it, saying weight loss 1-1. And then we follow a wide range of fitness enthusiasts and they post what they eat, and people end up thinking that, oh, this is what I'm supposed to eat to have a body like his or her. So I would say, respect your body. It was designed differently for everybody. Everybody has different height, weight, body composition, food preferences, medical factors. So what suits one person may not suit the other. So stop, trying to say that this person lost so much of weight by following this diet, so I want to do that as well. And I would also like to say that, understand your cultural differences. We all come from a background which has a certain group of foods that belong to that particular culture. Like, for example, as an Indian, we eat chapatis, dal, chawal, paneer, dosa, and all of those things, right? And then when you look at the person from a Western culture, they eat more of bread, pasta, avocado, berries, and all that. But the thing here is that is what they all grew up eating, and this is what we all grew up eating. You don't have to make that cultural shift in your eating pattern just to lose weight or something. You can make some changes at your home with your foods and definitely, achieve your goals. And stop comparing yourself with these fitness models, athletes, and celebrities. Now, I know it looks very nice and fancy to have a physical appearance like that, but there's a lot of things that go behind that. They have a dedicated team of experts working for them to keep them that way. They are literally getting paid for looking that way, while we are sitting here and wishing we had a body like them. They wish that they could sit back like us and enjoy, like eat like we do, but they cannot because they have to train for hours. They always have to measure and eat, and they always have to adhere to it 100%. So some of you will have a 9 to 5 job, a marriage, a home, kids to look after. It's difficult because I'm saying this because a lot of people come to me and they're like, they show me a picture of some celebrity or some fitness athlete, and they're like, मुझे 6 महीने में ये बना दो, give me some diet, I want to look like this. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. So, okay, this is what I wanted to say. And lastly, what I would like to add is, please stop relying on motivation because it's very unreliable. Waiting for motivation to get things done is not happening because you're not going to feel a certain way all the time. So have proper planning and have proper execution. Don't have last minute executions. Whatever you require for the next day, keep those things ready or rely on those plans. Don't rely on your motivation. Make those small changes and make it happen now. Make it happen today. That will definitely lead to something bigger, even though it may seem like it's very tiny change or something. Right, and that's all I wanted to add.
Thank you. I felt like more than the podcast, I felt everything that you said just meant to me. That
So
I
I could,
are inculcating these small changes.
yeah,
I always thought of workout and I'm planning since a month, but
yeah.
like, it's okay, fine, I'll do it on the Monday. And the Monday never comes.
Yeah, I know that happens. This is not just, I'm not just saying these because I'm a nutrition and a fitness coach or something, but this is my personal experience in life because even I have struggled to lose that weight for like so many years, and then uh, it was very difficult, until and unless you have proper planning, organizing. It's very hard to reach your goals because saying I just want to lose weight is a very vague statement, but saying I want to lose 10 kgs of weight in 6 months to come is a very clear statement, and then you have to plan that what are you supposed to do for these 6 months, this month and this week. What are you supposed to do today to make that happen? So it's all in the tiny changes is what I believe.
Certainly. And
Yeah.
now that you've enlightened me as well and the audience, I would definitely start working on myself from today. I don't want to make promises that tomorrow is a Monday and I'm gonna start it.
Yeah, right.
That vague statement. But definitely I will start making the small changes from today itself.
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Soumya, for giving your precious time for this. Thank you for answering all the questions that were asked by the audience.
Yeah. Well, firstly, I would like to thank you for giving me this opportunity because, I get asked these kind of questions all the time, and this was one such platform where I could connect with people or answer these questions, and it was very nice of you to have me here, and thank you again.
But before we end this podcast, could you please tell if somebody wants to connect to you, is there any particular thing like maybe your email or your Instagram page where they can connect with you if they have?
Yeah, I do have an Instagram page which is called as Deep Health Nutrition. So they can always connect with me over there, and they can send me a direct message, and I'll follow up with them.
Definitely. For all the audience, I'll be adding the link of a
Yes.
Instagram page in the description box below. Thank you, Soumya, for giving your time. It was really good and enlightening to have you here. And as I said, I will definitely start working and start changing these small, tiny things from today itself.
Yes, from today, like from now.
From now. Thank you, Soumya.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.